Camera rolling. Camera is rolling. Camera is rolling. Okay, so. Yeah, so senior year, I barely graduated from high school. I wasn't terribly academic.
I was really super confused. There wasn't really anybody around to help me, and my school counselors at the time weren't terribly knowledgeable.
This was a while back, and so there were some different policies in place down in Southern California, but they were really pushing for me to go on the community college track. And for some reason that didn't sit well with me. I thought that I could do better and be more successful.
I really didn't know what to do. So I knew I had good grades, I knew I wanted to go to college, and I didn't know where to start. I remember thinking, how am I going to pay for this? What am I going to do?
It was a little confusing because I didn't know which schools needed recommendation letters and which schools didn't need recommendation letters. And then just having to pick what schools even just to apply to.
It was really kind of left up to me to sort of figure out how to do well on the SAT, what to do for financial aid, which is something that I was really deficient in and really didn't receive any instruction in at all.
Fortunately, I was in the AVID program and the Puente program, which was all geared towards helping us get to college and figure out the process.
I didn't have a lot of peers that, I was able to really turn to, and just, there was nobody before me that had this whole process down and said, okay, this is what you want to do, this is how you're going to apply, this is where you go, and this is where money's at. And, I really had no idea how I did. I just kind of did it and just kind of stumbled my way through a lot of it.
I would say just bring it up, talk about it, make sure people know it's an option. I was the first in my father's side of the family to go to college, period, and my cousins didn't even know it was an option. I mean, I at least had the opportunity or I at least had the encouragement of my parents telling me, you can go to college, we'll pay for you to go to college, you need to go to college. But my cousins didn't even think it was open to them.
I think the most important thing to it is that whether you're a high-performing student, or you're a middle-performing student, or you're a low-performing student, if you're not in an environment where that's the conversation in your home and in your general community and your friends, you don't even know what you don't know. So I might be cruising along with B's and C's and think, I'm awesome. You really don't know what the competition's like. You don't know what an A through G class is or why it's important. And so you just think school is school.
I think don't take for granted that everyone knows about college. And I think it's in the language that you use. If you're talking about how to get into college, you don't need to don't skip steps 1, 2, and 3 and go straight to step 4. Knowing that 80% of the students know steps 1, 2, and 3, but 20% don't. And so that 20% is just as smart and just as qualified and just as hard workers as the 80%, but they don't have the background from their parents.
Definitely.
So I think keeping them in mind, keeping them at the front of your mind, and when you're talking about colleges and what you have to do, making sure that you're doing all the steps for those students who may not have the parents who have that background.
I think it's important to really I know for me as a teacher, to just really try to push everybody to go in that direction, whether they have the potential at the moment or even if they don't. Because for me, my potential and my kind of discovery of how important school was came a few years later when I worked in a warehouse and was doing all this heavy labor for the whole summer. And then I said, I gotta get back in school because I can't do this for the rest of my life. So I think for me as a teacher, I can't really speak for anybody, but as a teacher for me, it's important to see no matter who is in my class, no matter how, maybe someone's messing up or whatever, I just have to continue to treat them the same way and continue to treat them as if they do have the potential.